What'd you say though?
In my opinion, Warriors gonna win unless something outside of the normal happens.
That's how I feel,
Like
bro.
some unforeseen circumstance occurs. Other than that, Warriors got this in the bag.
Down a two, down a one. It's game. Yes!
This one is crushed. MC Cannibal, rap Hannibal. Here to change the game, mainframe, all y'all programmable. Coaching on tracks, balling like a paper like Phil. I'm obvious if real, my rhymes convict and heal.
Welcome to the Faithful Fan Show. I'm your host, Tony Cook, and I am joined today by K Sizzle. Welcome back, baby.
What's happening? Yeah.
Bro, so we've been chopping it up all week, ever since we found out about this finals matchup. And there's a bunch of stuff we got to talk about. But first, let's start by talking about this matchup tonight. Fans, I'm sorry, but this is going to be quick. I'm talking fast because we got to watch this game. I got money on the line. Warriors got to win by 3.5 points. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Right? We got
easy money tonight.
Easy money. I hope so, bro. Because my whole thing is, we were talking about it right before we got on here. It's got to be something out of the norm for the Warriors not to win this series. I could just say, just off experience alone, I feel like just playoff experience alone. KC, what is your take on the finals, and who do you think will win?
I got you.
Who do you think will win the finals?
At first, based off of everything you just said, the first mind is Golden State off top. It's like, oh, this is easy money. So then I unpeeled that onion a little bit, and what I learned was interesting fun fact. Every single time a first-year coach has made it to the finals, they have won the finals. So if the Celtics don't win, this will be the first time a first-year head coach who made it this far didn't win. So I was like, whoa.
That's interesting.
The energy is on the Celtics side from that angle.
Okay, go ahead. Keep going.
But my final thought here was, hey, what makes the Celtics great? Their defense. So then what makes the Warriors great? Their offense. So looking at those two next to each other, Warriors offense against the Celtics offense against offense, the Celtics are way behind when it comes to the offensive firepower. So then I said, okay, let's look at their defensive matchup. The Celtics defense, number one. But if I recall correctly, the Warriors was like 2 or 3. Their defense is closer to the Celtics defense than the Celtics offense is to the Warriors offense.
I totally agree. And an issue with the Celtics that I've been seeing all through the playoffs, and it may be because they're young and their star is kind of young, they get blown out a lot. And they have off games a lot. And it don't take much for the Warriors to get up by 20, bro. It don't take much. So and but that's interesting, the stat that you brought up about new coaches always winning. And is this just because there's no scouting report up on their scheme? What is that about? That's interesting.
A lot of them inherited great situations and just had to make slight tweaks in order to get the team over the hump. But in this situation, I'm looking at, while the Celtics have a great team defense, their offense is predicated on 2 one-on-one players, JB and JT.
Talk about it, Casey. I want to hear where you're going with this. Talk about it.
Right. So the Warriors offense is a team offense. You got movement, not only player movement without the ball, but major ball movement, looking for whoever is the open man to take the shot.
They got a lot of dudes that can put it up at a high rate. You know what I'm saying?
And that's their base offense. That's not like a play that they're calling. That is just them naturally out of the box, moving the ball, staying in motion.
Yes, sir.
And that's when they're at their best. Everybody pitch in.
Yeah.
The Celtics, when they're at their best, everybody clear out. JT, go get them. Everybody clear out. JB, go get them. Mm-hmm. That one-on-one game is not going to match up long-term against a team game.
And also, I would argue that Golden State, that is what they want the Boston Celtics to do. They are a great team defense. Like, they don't have, you know what I mean? They're not more
Yes.
athletic than Boston, but
Yes.
they got Draymond, they got Wiggins, they got Clay, they got Iguodala back, they got a bunch of wings, and their chemistry on defense is what makes them dangerous. So Tatum clearing out, going one-on-one, that's exactly what the Warriors want. So
Exactly.
it's interesting. I like where you was going with that, Casey. I like that. So, but if you were to say, if you had to give it like a Warriors in 6, Warriors in 7, Warriors in, where are we at? Where are we at?
I'm Warriors in 6.
Okay, I'm right there. I think I'm Warriors in 6 as well. Unless Tatum is just unstoppable, like but he's had off games, but you can chalk that up to Miami being a very good defense, because they are. Miami's defense, and they didn't have no offense. That's the other. It's just hard. It's hard.
See, so the argument for the Celtics winning is that they have, 1, the better defense, and 2, they have the best player on the floor, potentially, in JT. They might even have 2 of the top 5 best players on the floor. Like, even if Steph is still number 1, JT is clearly number 2, and JB is right behind him, right? So they got some firepower.
But would you argue that Tatum's better than the player that the Warriors just faced, Doncic? I don't, like, on a night-to-night basis, I didn't see that flops from Luka, bro.
So I'll say this: they've been saying that they, as in the media, has been saying that the Celtics are more battle tested, right, in the playoffs, because they had KD in round 1, they had Giannis in round 2, and so I'm like, at a high level, at a glance, yeah, that sounds right, but let's really unpeel that onion.
Please.
Was Brooklyn what we thought they were going to be this year? Oh. I don't think so. Did Giannis have his closer in
That's in one. But no Middleton. You're right. No
Middleton. He didn't have his closer. Like, didn't have him, right? So then let's look at the Warriors. That they had Jokic, the MVP, the league MVP.
Yep.
Right? They had the Mavericks, and Luka is, in my opinion, top 5 on earth.
Oh yeah.
Right? So, and before Luka, who did they have? They had Memphis,
which is a more physical and more athletic team than Boston, I would say.
And everybody want to say, oh, but Memphis didn't have their best player for the last couple games. How did Memphis do without their best player in the regular season?
20-4. I want to say 20-4 without Ja Morant this season. And it looked like it as soon as he went out, they won a game. Because that team is good. We got to look out for that team. We got to look out for that team in the future. But
as far as I'm concerned, the Warriors did not have a cakewalk. They might have made it look easier, but it was not a cakewalk. And also, it was just as challenging, if not more, than the Celtics.
And also the Dallas series is another one of those things where that played kind of into their hands, because Doncic is a one-on-one, clear out, kind of like Tatum. But he's honestly, I feel like he puts up less duds than Tatum in the playoffs so far. Up until this point, Tatum will not disappear, but there's moments in the game where he came up short. And that's why Miami was able to stretch it to 7 without a true scorer. Like Jimmy Butler, he did his thing. He always does his thing, offense and defense. But they didn't have a true scorer out there, bro. Like a true all-star.
But Boston did not win a single home game in the Eastern Conference Final. All of their games were won on the road. That going to work against Golden State?
No, sir. They might get one just because, like you said, I'm interested to see. They had some interesting stats on Marcus Smart as far as how well he plays Steph Curry, and I'm like, I don't know how that. I don't know how they calculated that, but I want to see, because I've never even seen him. The only time I've seen him play him, he injured Curry because he dove on his legs.
Yeah,
that's the only time I've seen him play Curry. I was like, so if he's going to do all that, but they say he guards Steph Curry very well. I'm like, interesting. I don't know. Yee. It sounds good, right?
Yeah.
Who guards Steph Curry good? Yee, exactly. So we clearly know where we stand on the series. With Steph Curry, we're predicting Steph Curry to win his 4th championship, right? Or 5th.
Yep.
To be his 4th.
Yep.
do we put him? Well, I know I do. Do you now put him in the top 10 all time because he changed the game. You know, he changed the culture of the game, and the way kids play today when they're in AAU games is way different because of this man. So is he now in your top 10 all time, Casey?
I would say with or without this championship, he's top 10 all time.
Okay.
Merely because of the impact and influence and how he has changed the game, as you just articulated. And it brings to an interesting point. It's like, what qualifies somebody to be in your top 10? Like, it can't just be that they won. Otherwise, Robert Ory would be up here in the top 10.
Yeah.
Right. Is it a longevity award because they had a peak? They had the longest peak. But what about those who had a higher peak? You know, like, is it, if you were to redraft the top 75, like your number one pick, does that make it your greatest player of all time? Like, it's really difficult. Is it your favorite? Like, how do you qualify the top 10?
It? Yeah, especially when you're thinking different eras. It's hard to really home in on a top 10, but we got to do it. We got to do it. We got to do it for fans. So Steph Curry in your top 10 all time now, with or without the championship.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Now,
and I have my list.
We ready? Wait, we ready? I know Casey ready to fire him off. No, but before Casey, I want to hear yours before I give you mine, because
I'm thinking we should start with, what does ESPN's top 10 look like? How are they ranked? I got that list too.
Please list that in front of you, because I disagreed with one of them. I might get pushed back.
I disagree with a few of these.
We know.
So they have, as the vast majority of others, MJ at number 1.
Okay.
LeBron at number 2. Kareem at number 3. Bill Russell at number 4.
Bill Russell got
Magic at 5. Wilt at 6. Larry Bird 7. Shaq at 8.
That's crazy.
Tim Duncan at 9 and Kobe at 10.
Okay. So, you know what? I'll give my crazy take first. I don't think Wilt Chamberlain deserves to be in the top 10. I know the stats are crazy, but for me personally, he's one of those main ones I could do the argument, dog, who are you playing against? Like, he's the main one. You could say Bill Russell, but he got the hardware to kind of like negate all that. You know what I'm saying? He got enough hardware to negate all that. Yep. Wilt Chamberlain is my guy that I'm like, you're out. Casey, go ahead. Tell me who you think shouldn't be in that top 10, and then we'll have you list yours.
Who shouldn't be in that top 10?
Okay, how about you just list your top 10? Because I told you who I think shouldn't be in there.
Right. Okay. So I kind of want to save my list and explain why I put them there. Right.
Please do.
So most people put Jordan at number 1, and to me, their only true argument for him being number 1 is how much better he was than everybody else that he played with.
Casey, don't do this.
Not on his team.
Casey, don't do this. Casey, don't do this.
No, I'm gonna do it. I'm going all the way there.
Casey, don't do it, fans. Please, I apologize. I didn't know he was gonna do this. Fans, I didn't know. We didn't talk about this. Go ahead.
I really want people to go back and look at who was guarding Jordan. Like, go back and look who. Like, I get that it was a rough league and
Bad Boy
he had to take
Pistons.
his lumps. I get he was playing against rough. He wasn't playing against real basketball players.
Oh my God.
He wasn't playing against the level of skill that some of the other people on my list played against.
Oh my God, Casey.
So yeah, of course. So think about it. In the 1993 NBA Finals, when they played against the Phoenix Suns,
okay,
their tactic for Jordan was to put their worst defender on him. Now you tell me a time where any team at any point said, let's put our worst defender on Kobe.
That's terrible coaching. Oh my gosh, I don't understand.
Okay, like, and Jordan put up, and they're like, oh, look at Jordan's numbers in the final. Yeah, look who was guarding him. Like, he was supposed to do that.
But is that that's not Jordan. That can't be held against Jordan, Casey. This is
okay. And then
okay, go ahead.
the other point, again, other knock that I have against Jordan and some other people in my top 10.
Crazy.
How many of their teammates are in the top 75? Jordan got 2 other teammates in the top 75 of all time.
Yep, you're right. You're right.
Okay? So who is the person who, and I do not discredit people just because their game is very much like someone else's. Just because you emulated someone that like you're supposed to emulate.
Yes.
Okay. So as far as I'm concerned, Kobe is number 1 on my list. Why? Because he was the closest to Jordan, but he did it in a league where it was commonplace for people to have a 40-inch vertical and a real basketball skill set.
Okay, see, we was trying to make this a quick pod. We was trying to make this a quick pod, but you're going crazy right now.
Okay.
Hold on, KT. No, listen. This is a serious thing. Like, so Kobe Bryant, I know you said he had 2 players in the top 75. Kobe had a top 5 player on his team for his championship.
Yeah, and then he went back to the championships 3 times and won 2 of those. And what other player in the top 100 was on that team?
Okay.
That went to the finals 3 years in a row. What other top 100 player was on that list?
Paul top 75?
No.
Paul Gasol's not
was
a 75?
Lamar? No. Was Bynum? No. Was Derek Fisher? No.
Paul Gasol could have been in the 75, bro. He could have been, right? No.
But he's not. He's not in the top 75.
More than half of Kobe's hardware was gained with a top 5 player all time. Like that.
Okay. Then after that, his peak. Did Jordan ever hit 81 in the game?
Oh my God.
With 3 people guarding him? Did Jordan ever make it to the finals with 2 different sets of crews?
Casey,
like 2 major transition? No, he always had Pippen with him. Pippen is top 50.
So I totally agree with you bumping Kobe up. Kobe should not be number 10. Kobe is number 2 on my list behind his maker. Like, you know what I mean? It's like
sure.
That's where
but you say that like you never seen a part 2 that was better than part 1.
You're right. Terminator.
Okay, so all right, so I digress. I have MJ at number 2, and I am comfortable swapping them 1-2.
Fans,
Pick your poison.
Tell us what
I got arguments for each. Right.
Tell us what you think, fans. Okay, give me. So it's Kobe 1, MJ 2. What's your 3?
I got LeBron at 3.
Okay.
LeBron is the best all-around player that the world has ever seen, in my opinion.
Okay. Fair.
I have Shaq at 4.
Shaq at 4.
Shaq is the most dominant being with basketball shoes on to ever grace the face of this planet.
Now, this is one of those ones, Casey, where you talk about the longevity.
His longevity wasn't there, but his
the range.
Peak, 2000, 2001, 2002 Shaq is the most dominant force this world has ever seen when it comes to basketball.
I agree. So you put him because of that over Kareem. My 4 was Kareem.
Kareem's in my top 10. He's in my top 10, but his numbers are longevity.
And that means something. Just like LeBron. LeBron's going to be remembered for his longevity. Let's not mistake that.
So LeBron is going to reach those stats because of longevity, but LeBron has the highest IQ of any basketball player to ever play the game.
We can say that.
As far as I'm concerned, like you have to be the best at something to be in the top 10, right?
Yep.
So Kobe, MJ, LeBron, Shaq, Magic is the best point guard we've ever seen.
Okay, I can agree.
Steph, I have Steph at 6.
Ooh,
he's the best shooter we've ever seen.
Oh, talk that talk, KC. You got him up there.
I have Kareem at 7.
Okay.
I have Tim Duncan at 8.
All right.
I have Barkley at 9.
KC, you've been watching.
And I got Larry Bird at 10.
KC, you got Larry Bird on. I did not think you was gonna put Larry Bird on there, bro.
Like I had a hard time.
The way we was talking about Larry, bro, I was like, oh, Larry ain't making it.
Okay. Here's my question to the fans. Notice I didn't say Bill Russell's name, and notice how long it took me to say Larry Bird's name. So my question to the fans is, what was Bill Russell the best at?
He was the best rebound, right?
The best rebounder. There was 8 teams in the league. There was eight. There was eight, and then he had 2 other top 75 players on his team.
That's not his fault.
It's like
he was the best player on his team for those championships. He was the best player on his team.
Okay, so he might have once been top 5 all time, but you can't tell me that we haven't seen better players play the game since him.
So Casey, you said you have to be the best at something. Yes. Bill Russell is the best trophy getter of all time.
Best at winning doesn't count.
The best trophy getter. He got the most trophies.
There was like 30 people in the league to choose from.
That's not his fault, dog. That's not his fault.
I get it.
I love it. I love it.
So you have to take it with a grain of salt. It's like, yes, he was top 5, but at the end of the day, everybody that I've listed would dominate in any era. Bill doesn't qualify.
Okay, but I'm actually, so I have Bill before Larry Bird because, like, for the same reasons you said, I don't think Bill Russell was a champion. So was Larry Bird, but Larry Bird, like you said, what was he the best at? He was just kind of all around great. He was the white hope. You know what I'm saying? That he was Magic's nemesis, basically.
Like, dude, if you can see, I have Larry written in, crossed out. I got Russell written in, crossed out. It's like
you was trying to figure out.
At 10, pick your poison. Like, I was like, should I put Olajuwon at 10? Like, okay, that's where I was about to put Olajuwon over Bird.
Okay, we have to stop. I forgot. You said something in the middle of it that was crazy. So, what is Charles Barkley the best? What is
Charles Barkley was the second best player in the league during the 90s behind Jordan. Charles Barkley would eat in today's league.
His longevity was questionable as well, like more so than even Shaq's, I would say. Like,
really?
Charles Barkley fell off, didn't he?
So when Barkley took the Suns to the finals
against Jordan,
what other top 75 player did he have on his team?
Okay, he didn't have Kid yet, huh? No, Kid was after. Kid was way after, right?
No, he had Kevin Johnson. Kevin Johnson is not a top 75 player. He has Cedric Sabalas. Cedric Sabalas is not a top 75 player. But Jordan had Pippen. Jordan, I'm not sure if he had Rodman on that one, but he had other top 75 players on his team.
So Casey, he's on the list because he was second behind Jordan. This is crazy to me. Like, we could say Gary Payton is on there. Like,
nah.
Did Charles Barkley? He won an MVP. He won an MVP.
Charles Barkley was the best power forward we had ever seen before Tim Duncan.
That's what I'm saying.
Tim Duncan is on my list too.
He is, and he's on my list as well.
And he's above Barkley.
Okay. Fair. To me, that's crazy to have Charles Barkley on there and not Bill Russell, bro. Charles Barkley has not one trophy.
So you got to win?
No, it's okay. It's different. Who led those Bill Russell teams? Bill Russell, right?
It was 7 other teams that in the entire league. Bro, we got 8 in the Western Conference playoffs. We got another 8 in the Eastern Conference. Like, there's more teams in the playoffs today than there was in the entire league. But like, bro, you got to take it with a grain of salt, man. You got to take it with a grain of salt.
Oh my God, a grain of
salt. At some point, those stats are not the same as today's stats, and that time is now.
Bro, this is Bill Russell is a what is he called? He's a trailblazer for he's a trailblazer of the NBA. He can't help that he came into the NBA when there was only 8 squads.
Okay, bro. Jerry West is the logo. Jerry West is the logo. Is he in the top 10?
No, he's not. But Larry is. Like, I'm just saying, like, Jerry West, yeah, I get it. Bill Russell was dominant, and he has the most champion. As for a player. He led his.
Okay, Google this. Riddle me this. What was the average height of an NBA player in Bill Russell's day?
All right, bro. They're all carpenters and stuff. They were all like construction workers and carpenters. I get you.
Bro, they're smoking cigarettes at halftime in the stadium.
On the bench.
It's like, at some point, it's like, okay, damn, yeah, he was so much better than everyone else. But how good was everyone else? My same argument with Jordan. Like, he was better than everyone else who
Dude,
played
the
it.
Jordan one is a stretch. You know the Jordan one's a stretch.
Guarding him.
You
Like,
just said
okay,
Charles
okay.
Barkley was in there as the greatest power forward of all time. That's one of the people that Jordan beat. Like the Jordan, I get you for the Bill Russell. I get what you, I got you. But still, those rings mean something to me. Even though it's a Celtic, I can't believe I'm big up.
So you got Robert Ory in your top 15.
Oh my God, he was never the one. The difference between Robert Ory and Bill
he didn't make his nickname is not Big Shot Rob.
Okay, you put him in the top 10, bro. You put him in the top 10.
Did he win? What did he win? 5, 7 championships?
Yep, he won quite. He won 6 championships. He won a couple with the Spurs. He won a couple with the Lakers.
And he was a major contributor to all of them.
But Bill Russell was the guy.
And he won championships with 3 teams.
Yep.
Houston, Lakers, and the Spurs.
You're right. But dude, so you think Robert Ory holds more weight than Bill?
No, I'm saying he's not. But you keep bringing up winning, so I'm like, okay, well then where's Robert Ory at?
It's apples and oranges. Bill Russell was the man. No. Bill Russell was the man on the Celtics. We can't do this, Casey. The game's about to start.
Was Robert Ory not a starter on the Houston Rockets that went back to back? Was he not a starter on the Lakers that went on three-peat?
Oh my God.
Like, he was a primary contributor. His nickname was Big Shot Rob. So if winning is the criteria, bro, where is he? He's not in the top 75.
Okay, you're negating the fact that Bill Russell was the one man. He was the guy on his squad. Robert Ory was not the guy on any of the. Okay, before we get out of here, Casey,
okay, let me ask you this. How many points per game did Bill Russell have?
What was it like? He averaged maybe like
15, 16.
But it was like what, 12 to 15?
He was the man because he got all the rebounds because he was bigger, faster, stronger than everybody but Wilt.
He was dominant. In his era. There's nothing else you could ask him to do.
He was dominant in his era, and he was top 10. But them numbers, the era matters, bro. The era matters. I took Wilt Chamberlain off for exactly the reason you're saying. But the thing is, Wilt Chamberlain don't. If you take Wilt off, you got to take Bill off.
Wilt didn't have the hardware. He didn't have the same hardware as Bill, right? Am I wrong?
He got hardware. He don't have the same amount of hardware.
That's what I'm saying, dog. He didn't have the same hardware as Bill.
Tell me.
I'm defending a Celtic.
Okay.
This is crazy.
Tell me who had more career rebounds, Wilt or Russell? Wilt. Tell me who had more career points, Wilt or Russell?
Okay.
Wilt. Tell me who had the higher peak, Wilt or Russell? Like,
who had more trophies?
Had 100 points in the game. He had 55 rebounds in the game. Tell me who Bill did that.
Okay, but Bill. Okay, so they were in the same era. I think Bill's a little older though, right? Bill came a little earlier than Wilt.
They played each other. But no, Bill gave Wilt fits for sure.
That's what I'm saying, dog. For sure,
yeah. It's the only other black person he had to play. Like,
okay.
Wilt was the same way. I'm used to just laying it up and oh wait, somebody else can jump.
Exactly.
I didn't realize I'm not used to playing against somebody else who can block my shot.
That's what I'm saying. Bill Russell was probably a better defender than Wilt too. We can say that.
Bill Russell is.
Let's stop. Hey, you disrespectful. Hey, fans, me and KC have to agree to disagree because we could do this all night. And the Warriors are about to play Boston right now. KC, before we get out of here though, I need you to run that top 10 back for the fans, please. I got to hear it one more time.
Kobe, MJ,
over MJ,
LeBron, Shaq, Magic, Steph, Kareem, Tim, Barkley, and Hakeem.
Oh,
Larry got kicked out that fast.
What? I can't believe this nigga. He changed it. He's like, you know what?
He got kicked out that fast.
He said, you know what? You're right. Larry ain't special. We gonna put Hakeem Olajuwon in there, and that the Dream was a cold brother too. So he deserves honorable mention in my list for sure. Fans, if you disagree, which I know you do, with a lot of Casey's list,
honorable mention number 11, Isaiah Thomas.
He in there because he's the second best point guard of all time.
Like he's the only point guard that can dominate in any era. Like he'll come out here and hit you with the Kyrie handles today.
He was like Chris Paul, but like you said, he was playing against not as good competition, so he was actually dominating. Like he was on some Chris Paul stuff back then, which was a lot. That's a lot to take in. But fans, hit those comments up because I know y'all got something to say about his top 10. Also, like, subscribe. I don't say that often, but come on, guys, like, subscribe. I know you love it. We know you. KC, anything to say to the fans before we get out of here?
Hey, man. Yes. I was taught to floss it, and no matter who playing, never root for Boston.
You so right. And you got me out here big up in Bill Russell, son. Those are my words. And I'm defending Bill Russell on my show. It's crazy. Fans, until next time on the Faithful Fan Show. Dun, 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 dun.
Rookie in the paint, going hard with the venom. Shot so much, man, I think I need a lay. Rookie in the paint, going hard with the venom. Shot so much, man, I think I need a lay. Animal, MC Cannibal, rap Hannibal. Here to change the game, mainframe, all y'all programmable. Coaching on tracks, balling like a paper like Phil. I'm obvious if real, my rhymes convict and heal. A world blind, my lies a red pill, real. Ball like I've been here, rookie in his prime. Focus like Jordan the second time. Kobe in playoff time, you know believe when I drop. Call for it, Kelly go in the Blizo spit. Auto like free throws by Ito. Circle loose stroke magic, rhymes over